What's up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zoo November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by, your one stop for everything adventure radio. I'm getting ready here to set up in my local park, US 1810, and do me a little POTA activation. But before I do, I got a question for you. Do you guys like to hike and do ham radio? You know, do you like to get out way away from your car and take as small as gear as you can and maybe do summits on the air and stuff like that? If so, let me change your QRP game forever. So, you know, many of you guys know when I hike up and do sodas and stuff, I use a spider beam. It's a 7-meter mast, and you know, it's fairly long here, about as long as my arm. And you know, it'll go down in my Giga Parts Explorer bag, and about that much will stick out the top, blah 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 blah. And everybody gives me crap because they're like, get a carbon 6, get a carbon 6. And I have a reason why I don't get a carbon 6, okay? So yes, this is a 7-meter mass, and the carbon 6 is a 6-meter mass. But that wouldn't be that big of a deal if the carbon 6, the top two sections wasn't so thin. They probably won't hold a fishing line, let alone one of my end feds. So all of my friends that try to talk me into getting the carbon 6, what they've done is they've took the top two sections out of the carbon 6, and now this mass is, you know, around, I don't know, 17, 16 feet. I don't know exactly what it is because it starts at 19.6. And now it's down there to about 17. So, you know, I stick with this. It's heavier, and, you know, but it works because the top of this thing is thick. But why am I going to change your game forever? Because now, Gigaparts and the Explorer series has launched a new mast. And here, let's compare this to my... Here we go. Let's do it this way. This thing, I don't have a carbon 6, but I did have it next to a carbon 6 this weekend in Dayton. It's about the same length. It's about the same weight. But what it's not is the same thickness at the top end. Look at that bad boy with a hook on the top. That thing is super thick, and it'll hold what you need it to hold. So not only is this thing as long as a carbon 6 and as lightweight as a carbon 6, it's going to hold a lot more. Let's show you more. Okay, I know this is apples to oranges because one is a 7-meter bulky mast and one is a tiny mast. It's longer than 6 meters. It's actually 20 foot. 6 meters is 19.6. So from the get-go, it's about 6 inches longer than the carbon 6. But, so if you're comparing bulk, right here is the top of this pole. Right here is where the top of this one would go. Okay, so that's about a foot. And if you go to the top, not sure how good you can see in the sun, the 7 meters only a little, around a foot taller. Alright, so top sections of these two poles. And again, remember, the spider beam is a super beefy pole. Rigid as can be. Rigid as can be. Somewhere to hook the antenna? Do it yourself. Alright, so really quick, I just wanted to show you this feature as well. Alright, when you pull off this cap, you notice it comes out. That's because that's the way it's designed. You don't got to turn the pole upside down, dig in the pole, you know, go looking for it, anything like that. And the most important thing that I can tell you is rigid on the top. This thing is great. So anyway, there was a few of these available at Hamvention, but not very many. There is a run of like about 500 coming out in about 6 weeks, and Gigaparts will have them. When you go to order yours, make sure and use my code, even though it won't work for 6 months. We want to know where they come. They want to know where they're getting sold from. So make sure and use the code HRAG when you do go there, and show your support to the channel. Other than that, if you wait 6 months, you will get a discount. There will also be a pole that will be 30 feet. So almost a 10-meter pole, but 30 feet, and it'll be out in a couple of months as well. And it'll be the same length, but a little bigger diameter. So, and my code will work right off the beginning from that one. Anyway, if you like this video from Ham Radio Adventure Guy, click up here in the corner and watch another one. While you're at it, click down here in the corner, subscribe. Make sure and follow us on all social media sites. As always, thanks for sharing my adventure with me.